Hey guys. Um, so today I wanted to talk very briefly on situation in Aurora, Colorado, and how I want to go over that video. I want to give my own personal opinion. This is my own personal opinion. No one's told me any of this except for Spirit. Um, and these are my assumptions and what I have put together with uh looking at the video and kind of going over things in my own mind and in my own head. So with that said, I want to start off with saying that first thing we have to do is remember where we are. We have to remember that we are in America. America, and a lot of times, can be a big old theatrical stage. That's what we got to keep in mind. I mean, as I said, these are my own thoughts and my own opinions. So let's just start from there. But even if we go to things such as the assassination attempt from or on former president. Um, Me personally, again, from looking at that video, for the way that things happened, the way that the alleged shooter was even positioned and had the opportunity to be positioned there. The fact that many people said that they saw him, the fact that many people said that they brought it to police and other officials' um, attention and nothing happened and so forth, leads me to believe that there really was no assassination attempt. I believe that this was more than likely something staged for political reasons. Now, getting back to this thing in Aurora, Colorado, I think is very much political. I think it's very much political. I think we got two sides of our government right now that are openly running for election. And I think that the border crisis, the migrant crisis, and so forth is one of the biggest ones. That is what would you say? That's a real kick, I'll just say, to the Democratic side. And so, with that being the case, I would dare to say that a lot of this has been and is still kind of a shot at the Dems. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, the migrants that you guys brought over here, look what they're doing and look what they're causing, and this is what they're doing. They're taking over now. And if you really think about it, rich old white Republicans and just the whole, a lot of the Republican talking points is about fear. It really is. All of Fox News, it's all about fear, and it's all about you getting into your feelings and them being able to appeal to your feelings that things are being taken away. Um, hey, being black in this country, we already know we have been the forefront of old rich white people feeling like and saying that we're taking things away. You know what I'm saying? Ever since we got here and ever since we got freed, it's been, oh, they're going to take our jobs. Oh, they're going to take over our neighborhoods. Oh, they're going to take over this. So it's a well-known tactic that they have always used and still use it. But are now, and I'm not saying at all. I'm not saying at all that there is not a threat. I'm not saying that at all. I think very much so that there are numbers and groups of people who are here and were let in here. Um, But I don't necessarily believe, and I don't know if I had said this on here before, but Spirit had kind of gave me some insight on a lot of this stuff a few months ago, and I think I talked about it. And if I didn't, forgive me. Sometimes I have stuff in my head, and I think I've said it and I didn't. But um, you know, I think they're using certain groups of people to do the fear mongering. I really do. I think they're putting people, certain groups up as the face of these immigrants, and this is what this is, and this is what they caused, and if they had closed the borders, then this wouldn't, whatever. Um, I don't really think this is a Biden Harris issue. I do know and understand that a lot of that happened, but I also know that there were already border crisis issues before. So I'm not going to place all of that on them, you know. Um, anyway, let's go on to the video because I'm not, this isn't really necessarily political and me talking about the migrant crisis or whatever. I'm just showing the fact that of how our America likes to use people to be the forefront of things. And we as black people know very well how that goes. We have been the fall guys forever for crime, for, I mean, just everything. And so when others come, because there's others here, like it's not just a bunch of Venezuelans, like there are a lot of other people that came here, through the border, across the border. Some of them came on planes. I don't know if y'all know that. A lot of them came on planes and stuff. A lot of them came at other different times. There were a lot of Russians, if I'm not mistaken. Couple, I think they say maybe 2, 3 years ago, there were a lot of Russians that came over here fleeing, and we never heard anything about it. But they are here. They got set up. They got jobs. They got housings. They got all of these things set up, and there was no immigration crisis. You know what I'm saying? There was none of that, um, any of those problems because they came in and made a smooth transition, and hey, there you go. But when they want to politicize things and throw things on this group and that group and whatever, then these are the kind of tactics that they use. Now, as I said, I am not downplaying at all. I know that there is crime, a lot of crime, and probably a whole lot more crime going to be committed by those who are here and have been let in. Um, there's something else I was going to say, but let me just move on. So one of the things, when I was looking at that video, I was, it bothered me like it bothered anybody else. But like I said, I had to kind of calm myself because one of the other things, I'm going to just throw this in here, that Spirit has taught me within the last couple months or so is to stop looking at individual situations. Stop looking at individual people and individual situations and kind of step back and take a broad view of everything going on and start judging those things, looking at it from that type of a lens instead of, oh, that person did this and this person over here did that. Step back, figure out why things are being allowed, figure out what things are being allowed, figure out agendas, figure out who would have something to gain, who would have things to lose, and so forth. And so um, sometimes I need a reminder, but that is what I've been doing for the past few months, is what I've been trying to continue to remind myself to do, like stop looking at these emergency situations that come up and step back, take that broad view and look at an overall picture. And if you guys know, that is what I really try to do on this channel, is to help change people's perspectives. It is to help people to look at and see the big picture and to not get caught up in emotion and things that the news is, I mean, because Oh, come on, we know who the news is. We know what their job is. We know what they do. Um, and so, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there as to how I get my perception on things, you know. But in the video, let's get to the video. Now, in the video, um, one of the things that really came to my mind was I want you guys to keep this in mind. First of all, when if these apartments were overrun with trash and overrun with they said there had been a lot of crime and shootouts and things like that. They were also out of town um, owners who owned, if I'm not mistaken, 3 apartment communities in Colorado or in the area. I'm going to say because I don't know, they might own more in Colorado. I'm gonna throw this in real quick. I really wish that they would stop allowing or put some type of very, very strict restrictions on these owners who have properties and they're not even in the city. Like a lot of them are not even in the country, you know, and you can't get a hold of them. You can't talk to them. You can't, and it's just, I find that crazy, and I wish they would start putting some regulations on that. I really do, because those are always the ones that have the most problems. Those are always the ones who are literally slumlords, you know. So I just wanted to throw that little part in there. But as far as that video, if these apartments, as I said, were overrun with trash had not, I think they said, been picked up in months, and so forth. And they just didn't look up to par. Like they were literally on the verge of like being condemned and so forth. They had multiple violations in all of these properties. I know one has been completely shut down and condemned. Possibly 2, but I know one for sure. So, with that being the case, my first question is, if the apartments were in such a state as that, I want to know, how are there working cameras in that apartment building, like in the hallway thing, or wherever these guys were supposedly taking over something. You don't think that they possibly saw, if there was a camera or whatever up there, they would have saw the camera and maybe knocked it out if they're being as brazen as they are to, as they allegedly are, busting off into people's homes and breaking off into people's homes. You don't think, with all them people that they had on that video, that somebody would have saw a video camera up there? So that's number one. That's number one. I'm just going to put that out there. Number two, I want people to focus on the camera angles, which is one of the things that I looked at. At one point, of course, when they're kind of coming up the stairs or whatever, it's like it was kind of over and whatever. Then it turned to, if you guys also remember, when it turned to like the back and they were like facing the door. I want you guys to notice how low that camera was, as if somebody was literally standing back and video recording. Probably like with a camera phone. This is what I'm thinking. Um, I say this, like I said, just because of the angle and just because of the fact of these apartments. I mean, there's nicer apartments, way nicer apartments that don't have cameras. You know what I'm saying? In particular, one, just in the apartment complex that I'm in, our mail room, we have a mail room that's supposed to have cameras. Cameras don't work, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But that's something legitimate. And I would dare, like I'm saying, I would absolutely dare to believe that these people had working cameras in the hallways and there was no management. Y'all can't find the owners, really, and they're just going to be on videotape. uh, showing the activity and what they're doing. Like that doesn't seem right to me. I would think anybody in their right mind would go and knock them cameras out, if anything. So this is why I say when I look at the camera angles, it literally seems as if someone is standing with no less than a telephone recording, just by the low thing of it and just by the fact of the angle of it. I also want you guys to notice the door when they were, kind of knocking on. Because this one they knocked on the door. There was some other footage where they seemed to be like literally trying to break in with a um, something they were hitting the door with. And again, even on that camera footage, I want you to notice how low the camera was, as if a person was holding this, and just the angle. A lot of times when police and so forth actually give like real police footage and stuff, a lot of times it's that old crazy grainy where you can't hardly see it and everything. And it's like, this is crystal clear. This is absolutely crystal clear. So I just wanted to throw that out as well. But the door, um, did you all notice how that door was opened? Like they didn't kick in the door, they didn't whatever, they didn't beat the door down or whatever. Someone literally opened the door and they stood back away from the door. Now I want you to notice and think about when you open your own door. When you open your door to your house, you're usually right there with the door. You open the door and you're right there standing in the door. This door was opened and somebody was standing from behind that door. You didn't see anything. Those are two things I wanted to be to talk about. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how seems like the police, the Aurora police, kind of downplayed it, didn't know what was going on, and all of these. The governor, the chief of the police chief, I think because they just got a new one. They just got a new one for Aurora, and I think he's starting technically Monday, Tuesday, whatever. Monday is Labor Day, so probably Tuesday. But all of these big higher up people are downplaying it like, oh, well, nothing happening. Yeah, we don't know. No, it's not happening or whatever. And it also goes to reason that this video, in my alleged opinion, could be falsified. It could be staged. It could be whatever, for whatever political reason, and to pass fear, um, as to why they don't know. As to why they don't know. They didn't even know that this video was out there and had went viral until it did. And then all of a sudden, that very next day, the police were over there at their apartments. They're talking to the people because that's what's going on now. And just all these other things that they have now put in place and making new statements and things about. And like I said, I think it's because they really had no idea about that. But they're putting out new information. They're saying that, none of that was true. The tenants and things were not being forced to pay money or pay them rent money or whatever. They weren't being extorted. Um, the only thing that I heard from news, like everybody else, is that they did have a shootout or some shootouts or something around that area, but also that there had kind of been an ongoing issue or problem with that kind of activity, which is why they had been trying to get in touch with the owners, and said that they can't, and all this kind of stuff. That's crazy. And okay, here's the last crazy thing to me. The last crazy thing to me, I don't know how it's connected, but to me, it is a really, really big coincidence that all three of those apartment complexes were owned by that same management company out of state that they can't find. Now, I don't know how they hook stuff up and how they're doing stuff and whatever, but all of that stuff seems very suspicious to me. And I've learned to live by the rule that there really are no coincidences. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, when it comes to America. When it comes to America, you got to really, really look at that big stage and really, really sit back and see the bigger, broader picture. Now, as I close, I am not saying that there are not possibly gang issues and things going on. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, because there were a lot of people that got over here and they're still coming. And I do think though, I really do think though that the FBI, ICE, immigrant, all these people who are in charge of that stuff, these agencies, these alphabet agencies, I think they know a whole lot more of where all these people are than they're saying. I think they're kind of leaving that out there, to, as a scare tactic that, oh, well, they're just all over in America and they're just everywhere. And nobody knows exactly where they are and blah, blah, blah. And that could be true slightly. It could be true slightly. But all of the footage that I see, all of the things that I see and hear going on, watching this whole immigration thing and all of this stuff unfold, they always though are able to pin those people down. They are able to say that, because if y'all remember, do y'all remember real quick when those immigrants had beat up the cops in New York? Okay. Literally they said that they had ran and dispersed and were just gone. Okay, but a few hours later they found them exactly where they were. They found them, arrested them. Yeah, let them go. I mean, that's that. Hey, that's the system. That's. I don't know. I do know what they need to do with that, but they let them go. But they still found them. They know exactly where they were. They had a suspicion as, oh well, they might have went to such and such, and they may be headed such and such. But I know a few hours later they found them and had them on camera again. Whether or not, like I say, it's doing any good and what they need to do to tighten up these laws and everything. That reminds me. So here's the other thing that baffles my mind. Now, I know you guys remember back when black people were protesting George Floyd, way back to like Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin and all of these black men that were just dying. I mean, just like they were just literally killing black men like flies. Those few years. Not saying that it's not happening, but I'm just y'all see what I'm getting at. Um, and do y'all remember how black people were doing no more than simply protesting? We were simply protesting. We weren't bashing out windows. We weren't doing all this other stuff. It was actually proven that those were really extreme groups that had been recruiting people to come down to those peaceful protests. People in the communities talked about stacks of bricks and all of these things being placed in their neighborhoods and stuff. And all these different groups and white folks and all of this that were coming down to these protests and just disrupting. But black people were literally trying to have nice, peaceful protests. And what happened with that, if y'all remember? Do you remember how they were calling out the National Guard? Do y'all remember how all of these white militia groups and everything started coming out and standing with their guns and their flags and their masks and all of this shit when black people were only peacefully protesting? And so now y'all mean to tell me that in the place like America, with the greatest military, with all of these hidden white supremacist groups, because there are many. There are many tucked off in these little small towns and so forth, and big cities, but there are many. With all of the military that we have, with all of the police that we have, with all of these other alphabet agencies and so forth that we have, for all of the technology that we have. You really mean to tell me that there are groups of illegal immigrant people, some legal, some not illegal, before somebody get offended by that, who they're really going to start literally taking over places in America. Literally, that's what y'all are telling me. Oh, well, the police can't do anything. The police hands are tied, and ICE won't do anything, and they arrest them and they just let them back out, which they do that. But I think that's for a reason too. Um, but we can't send them back to their countries because their countries won't take them back. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. And no, I am not a Trumper, but I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Beside all of the other horrendous things that I really believe this unhinged man is going to try to do, if he ever gets back in office, which I do not believe he will. Um, I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you when he do get back, and I believe the one thing he actually really will do is mass deportation. I truly, truly believe that would be one thing that he absolutely does try to do and may even get accomplished is that mass deportation. So, with that said, you mean to tell me that Trump as president could get that done and do a mass deportation, but y'all are really trying to tell me that even with the administration that we still have now, oh well the countries just won't take them back. Seriously. That's really what y'all want us to believe. We can't control America. Anyway, you guys, that's all I really wanted to say. I wanted to yeah, that's everything that I had that I wanted to talk about. You guys let me know what you think. Um, I think the fear that is being projected is not only political. I think there is a spiritual aspect to it. I think that there is, I think that there is, this may sound weird, however y'all want to take it, but from a spiritual standpoint, you know, I think the elites and those who are in charge and even as you get more into like a spiritual type thing, they feed on energy. They feed on energy, especially like fear. Fear is one of the biggest energy generators by far, period. And I think when you let out mass information like that and mass things that is going to jolt the public and get the public off their kilter and get the public unsure and angry and fearful and all of these type of, it's an energy thing. It's an energy thing. And, I really think that that's what they feed off of. But here's the thing. It could be used for bad and it can be used for good. So what I'm going to tell you guys is, keep your eyes open. I'm going to tell you to do what Spirit told me, which is to stop just looking at this person, that party, whatever, and take a whole look back, almost as if, let's just say you were like in an airplane and you can't see your house anymore. You can't see that tree no more. You can't see those people car anymore. You are now overhead and you're looking at the big that's the way I need you guys to start looking at a lot of this stuff, because it's a lot more to it than what is being presented. And that is the actual truth. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I would also tell you guys to trust your instincts. Don't second guess yourself and don't let nobody kick you off of your square. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. However you pray, whoever you pray to, whether you meditate, whatever it is that you do, that's what you need to do. Clean up your energy field. What do I mean by that? Clean up your energy field by, practicing love, living love, Try to stay away from those things that keep you in fear, put you in fear, and just aggravate your spirit and just mess you up and get you all tense and nervous. And take a break from that. You don't have to continue to indulge in that. Like, you really don't. You know what I'm saying? You can turn things off. You don't have to indulge in that kind of stuff, because it really does stick to you. It's almost like a freaking leech. It sticks to you. So do your best to operate in love, stay in peace, keep your mind and your ear and your heart and whatever it is open so that you can hear wisdom. And like I also said, trust yourself. Trust yourself in what you're hearing and what you believe. Uh, and what you know to be the truth. And try things. You know what I'm saying? Try things against one another. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do it with groups. You don't have to debate people. You don't have to get on the internet and tell all the what within yourself. Within yourself. Compare this what you've heard to that over there that you know, and this over here to what you actually saw with your eyes, and then with that over there that you heard with your ears. Compare it all. Compare it all. And then see what sounds right, what sounds rational, and what you truly believe. And when you start doing that, and when you start living that way, it'll be harder for people to fool and trick you, because you'll be able to think objectively. You know, you'll be able to think rationally. And I mean, you can talk to people too. Talk to people. Listen to them. I mean, you do whatever it is that you need to do to get that peace of mind. But don't stay in that spirit of fear, anxiety, depression, like whatever it is. Do not stay there, because when I started looking at those videos, it was worrisome. It was really worrisome. And I looked at them and looked at them and heard this person and that person and all of this kind of stuff. And, I've been hearing a lot for months. I really have. Um, there are some practical things that I am going to do that I think that I need to do, and I'm going to get done as a just in case or as a just precaution type thing. I think that's very wise. But I also say, don't let those things get to you to a point to where you're just living in fear and you don't want to go outside, and you're upset, and you can't get no peace, and you're mad at people and angry at people and arguing with people online. And because none of that stuff is productive. I mean, look, at the end of the day, none of that stuff is productive, because what this system does is they give you that stuff, they give you the fear, they tell you all the lies, and they make up whatever they make up, and they literally run this America like it's a freaking stage. And after you get upset and after you've invested your energy and all of this kind of stuff, what they do, they just simply take it out the news. They just stop talking about it conveniently. And next thing you know, you be like, man, I know I do. I'd be like, wonder what happened to that such and such that happened a few months ago. I'm always thinking about what happened to this story and those people and things like that. Um, and sometimes you just never hear. I will Google, I will ask people and everything, like, whatever happened to such and such? Oh, girl, I ain't never heard nothing else about that. And I'm like, yeah, me either. So how was it that important? I mean, it's like they're literally just playing in our faces, honestly. That is the epitome of playing in our faces. That's what they do. And I really truly think these people who are in charge and literally sit back and laugh at the rest of us. I really do. Because it's like they're playing. It's really like they're playing a game and getting their kicks and their rocks off of our fear and our whatever. And that's how they entertain themselves. And yeah, that's really what I think. And with this political season going on right now, I think they're just having fun with us. I really do. I really do. So, um, but you guys, stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open, please. Please keep your eyes open, and please, like I say, look at the big picture. Look at that big picture. Don't be swayed. Don't be moved. Don't be in fear. None of that. Speak your own. Speak your own reality. And I know I don't talk about that a lot on this channel. I have my other channel that's not really moving very well, but I haven't really been making videos on there. But that is more of a spiritual channel where I talk about the spiritual things. But I'm going to tell you that here. Um, don't get swayed and shaken. Don't. Just keep, and another thing, keep looking with your eyes open, and you don't have to always say anything or voice it or whatever. Just keep looking. A lot of times you can get so much by just looking and observing things. But I'm gonna cut the video off because I wasn't trying to make a super long video. But you guys, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much to my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys so very much. I do ask that you would continue to subscribe and, even share the videos. I would appreciate that as well. Thank you for being here. You do not have to be here. There's so many other places on the internet that you could be, and you come and you listen to me and you indulge me, and I so appreciate you. You really have no idea how much I appreciate you. Um, Leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button, hit all notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Till the next video. See you next time.